And this is where I was jumped by 10 kids when I was in 7th grade, 10 bullies that oftentimes harassed me, and I was able to survive that, fortunately, kind of move on. But I know ever since I was real little, for whatever reason, I think because I was small and quiet and shy, I didn't say a whole lot, I had a problem with bullies from kindergarten through my senior year in high school, and that made school tough. I wasn't really interested in my schoolwork. In all honesty, I goofed off. I was more interested in playing anything else. And one day when I came home from school, I was in 4th grade. Mr. Anderson was my teacher, and I brought home a report card. My dad saw I had like my first F, I had a D. He was really upset, almost went through the roof and said to me, "Son, I don't send you to school to flunk. You're going to do better or else I'm going to spank you with a belt." And my dad, when he said he was going to follow through on something, he did it, because he was into corporal punishment, and sometimes I think a little bit more than what was necessary. And so that was kind of how that happened. And so as a result, he also said to me, "I'm going to also take you with me, and we're going to work in the fields." And so I was with him. We picked plums, pears, string beans, grapes. We'd use postal diggers. We plant grapevines out in the heat. And so oftentimes I was exposed to the heat, 100-degree heat or more. And my dad would oftentimes turn to me and say, "Son, if you don't do well in school, this is your future with me the rest of your life." And all I can say is, it's like I saw my life flash before me. I didn't like what I saw, because I saw myself like my dad, just suffering out there in the fields. So it scared me. And when I came back to school, I was determined to become a new student, and so that's what I set out to do. And to my surprise, when I found that I tried to do the work, I found that I was actually able to do it. And because of the bullies that I was exposed to, and a lot of them had, they made a lot of negative comments and called me all kinds of bad names, and told me because I was Hispanic that I'd never amount to anything, go back to your country where you came from, those kinds of things. And after a while, I began to believe what they were telling me. I know, I believe in Proverbs it talks about how as a man or a woman thinks in his or her heart, so is he or she. And so that kind of, that had an impact on me. But what helped me though is, once I realized, when I gave out my best effort, I was able to do the work. I remember saying to myself, wow, I guess I'm just as smart as the next kid next to me. I can do this as long as I put out my best effort. And I saw that happening as my grades improved, wanted getting C's, passing grades, and a B here and there, then an A occasionally. Eventually I made honor roll, then honor society, and so things got better for me. So I began to improve, and I took a greater interest in my schoolwork, and my self-esteem went up because I was doing well. And then got to high school, and I had a goal to go to college. I wanted to be the first person in our family to go to college. And I shared that dream with my dad, and he said, "Son, I don't have the money to send you, but just do your best. We'll find a way to do it." And so I put up my best effort, and I was doing very well in school. And unfortunately, during that time, my mother was diagnosed with leukemia. I think when she was 33, the doctor told her she had about 3 years to live. This was kept from my family. My older sister, Josephine, who we called Joe, and my younger brothers, Saul and Mike, myself, none of us knew this. My parents, actually my dad wouldn't disclose this to us until I think 2 days before my mom was to die. You're in college. I worked actually at this gas station. It's called Flyers now, but back then it was called Fast Gas Station. And I was a cashier here. One evening I was finished working, and I had closed up the gas station. I locked up all the money, locked up the pumps, and at the very end, a young man came up and said, "I need to buy some gas." I recognized him. He was one of the bullies that used to bully me when I was in high school. And I told him, I apologize, but everything's already locked up. I have to be out here by a certain time. And I remember at the time there was a sliding glass window that separated me and the customer, and he tried to grab me through the sliding glass window, and so I backed off wisely. And he said, so he threatened to hurt me very badly, and so needless to say, I was feeling pretty scared. And as I left, I remember it felt like my heart was going to pound right through my chest. I remember saying to myself, that's the last time anybody ever bullies me ever again. And I went home. The next day, I wound up going to Sears. I wound up ordering a 100-pound weight set. It came within, I think, a week. And so that was the beginning of my training program. And so basically I was training to get stronger. And I remember I was lifting weights every day. I remember every time that I did curls, I would imagine smashing a bully's face in, because I thought, I don't want these guys mess with me anymore. And so that was my beginning of my I guess, a career with physical training. It started back in the summer of 1976, in June of that year. And that was the beginning also of an arm wrestling career that would follow thereafter.